Welcome to the Flower Lounge, a place for conversations with wildly creative people and a little plant-loving wisdom to help you experience life in full bloom. I'm Katie Hess, flower alchemist and founder of LOTUSWEI, and I believe in a world where we're all living at our personal edge. Welcome to this month's episode of Moonshine on the Flowerlounge Podcast. I am with intuitive astrologer Kristina Wingeier, and she is singing a solo and some songs tonight at a performance. And I wanted to tell you, Kristina, that, well, this is kind of jumping ahead to the flower essences here, but we're going to be working with Infinite Love. And Hong Kong Orchid is the one on the bottle. And that flower is all about helping you feel comfortable being seen and heard.
Oh, that's so perfect. Thank you. Did you just tailor this for me? Did you know? You saw it you felt it coming, didn't you?
All about your life.
I was going to be, I know, everything's for me. Hello, I'm not self-centered. Oh, that's beautiful. I'm excited. Yes, I am singing tonight on stage, very small stage, but it's a huge moment to be breaking through a fear of mine to do this. So I'm excited.
God. I think it's like everybody's fear. Isn't that the number one fear in the entire world? Is to
speaking in public or singing in public?
I think singing is next level.
Yeah.
Speaking in public is one thing. Singing in public?
Yeah.
That sounds more intense.
It's going to be fun. It's musical theater. We're going to have a good time.
It's going to be amazing.
That's perfect though. I've been just dousing myself in this infinite love. So I will take it with me tonight, and I will take the roller too because it smells so good. It's my daughter's favorite one. If she's listening, she loves to listen to the podcast. She loves Infinite Love. Anyway,
I love your daughter. She's so beautiful. I want to meet her someday.
You will. She's a lovely, lovely person. I'm so honored that she's chose me as her mom.
You and she should come down to Phoenix.
I think we should. She'll be gone in the fall, but
in the winter.
For a big bit of time. But yes, the winter. Yes. So May is a good month, though. We're in May. I love May.
I love May. What's
not to love about May?
Exactly.
And your astrologer was born in May. Since we're celebrating me.
It's your birthday month. It's your birthday.
It's my birthday month. No, May is fun. It's a beautiful.
When is your birthday?
May 30th.
Oh, right.
Right at town. I love it. I'll be out of town. I'll be on a little trip to the Pacific Northwest. I go visit some family and friends. I'll be gone for a month. I'll be working from when I'm gone. I do that. I do distance sessions and all that, but I love the Pacific Northwest. It's so beautiful up there. So that's where I'll be. I'll be with my mom on my birthday, which is, she gave birth to me. So it's nice to spend it with her. Okay, now everybody knows all about my family. Back to the astrology. So it's May. It's a lovely month. It's, I feel like this May is an interesting, there's not like a lot going on this month, but there's, we have, of course, the new moon and the full moon, which are both pretty good, pretty potent. We have Mercury changing signs twice. So Mercury, how Mercury was so slow for a minute because of the retrograde. This is how Mercury goes. So slow for this period of time and this immersion in an element. And now Mercury's picking up the pace and making 2 sign changes this month. So Mercury's going really fast. And in fact, more on Mercury later.
Moron? Did you just call moron?
Mercury is such a moron, but we love Mercury. No, Mercury. I love Mercury. Is it Wednesday? No, it's Tuesday. Okay. Segue into Mercury Day. So Mercury makes 2 sign changes. Venus changes signs and Mars. So all the personal planets are changing signs this month.
Okay.
That happens. And so that's, the personal planets are just, they're like thinking, communication, love and money, action.
Basically anything and everything that's important to us.
Exactly. So all that's shifting this month. So there's a lot of sign changes with the personal planets, but overall, I would say that May is a fairly stable month compared to what's coming over the summer. I feel like this is a really good time to because has April just flown by for you? Where did it go?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I feel like a spark. And May is not, I don't think, as fast as April, but I think it's going to be important to slow down a little bit and stabilize and get ready for eclipse season, which comes in the summer, and a Mercury retrograde in the summer. So it feels like that.
Feels like a preparation. It's like pull up your bootstraps, right? And
yeah, pull up your bootstraps and
get ready to go.
Get ready to go. So we start the month on Beltane, which is a solar holiday. Do you know about Beltane? You know about Beltane.
It sounds very familiar.
It's very familiar. It's the cross-quarter holiday between the equinox and the solstice.
Okay, right.
So it's a beautiful day. May Day, Beltane. It's very much about
I love May Day.
Yeah.
I love May Day so much. When I was a kid, did you do the May Day stuff?
I don't think we ever danced around the maypole. I wish we did.
Oh, no. I mean, like...
no maypole for you?
No, I had this like super cute elderly neighbor in Minneapolis. And then when I was little, I used to bring her like baskets of flowers. You know, you'd make all those nice gifts and then hang it on the doorknob, and then you'd like ding dong and you kind of run away, but you'd leave all these beautiful flowers and gifts.
Oh my God, I just love that. I just had this, I think I've seen a picture of you as a kid that you showed me once, and I'm just imagining little Katie Hess with the flowers and the ding donging, and like, you're still doing that, you're still.
I feel like we should bring this holiday back. I think it was maybe 2 years ago. May Day was like this is so ridiculous. Why are we sharing so much personal stuff?
Go there. I don't know, because the personal planets are all on the move. So we're going to get personal.
Moving. So on one May Day, I think it was like 2 or 3 years ago, in my salsa community, I like bought a ton of flowers and put a big giant rose or some beautiful flower under the like little windshield thing of like everyone in
the car.
Yeah, in the car.
I was like, wait, are the cars in the dance floor? I was confused.
It's like that idea of like giving somebody secret flowers. You're doing it like en masse. It'd be like a flower flash mob, but like anonymous.
Anonymous flower flash mob.
Yeah. And if lots of people are getting it, it doesn't feel a little, creepy.
Not too stalkerly.
Anyway, I think we should bring back May Day. So if anybody out there listening loves this concept, if you're listening to this on May 1st, give somebody some flowers anonymously.
Yes, and it'll make you feel better, because there's kind of a heavy aspect on May Day. So.
Oh, Lord. Tell us.
Well, Saturn had just stationed retrograde like a few days ago, maybe even the day before. But what's happening with Saturn on May Day is Saturn is conjunct the south node of the moon. So I will explain in a moment. But the reason I'm highlighting this is because it's happening 3 times in the next couple of months. And so with Saturn, we're really, and on the south node, we're really clearing away what is excessive, right? We're looking at purging and pruning and lightening our loads. It's kind of that Marie Kondo effect we talk about if it's not bringing joy, if you're just carting it around because you think you should, or you were told that you should do it this way, you want to be letting go of things and really prioritizing what's really important to you. So it's a big moment when Saturn's on the south node. And you and I were talking before we started recording about this concept I'm having around the nodes of the moon right now, which is the place where the eclipses happen, right? And in your charts, if you all out there are looking at your charts, the nodes look like these little horseshoes.
Every astrologer's dream.
You all are looking at your charts. Please look at your charts. No, don't look at your chart if it freaks you out. But if you are looking at your chart, and it's those little horseshoes that travel together, those are the nodes of the moon, and they look like little magnets to me. So with the south node and Saturn, I feel like it's like a magnet that can help us pull away the things that we might hold on to, but we know we can let go of them to make space for more joy and more of what really feels right to us and brings us happiness and integrity. Saturn's also about kind of cause and effect of actions. So it's a little bit of moment of reckoning. And there's a few of those that are coming up this year. The other dates are July 5th and September 28th. Saturn will be retrograde for the first 2 and direct for the final one. So just maybe, if you're tracking these things, it's a threefold invitation to clear away some stuff. And, it's on May Day, so probably you need more flowers and less technology. What do you think?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you always need more flowers.
We need more flowers. We need more nature.
So wait, let me just make sure I understand May 1st correctly. There are chances that people will feel
heavy.
what?
Heavy, kind of like faced with making some maybe past choices you've made and where you are now, and do you want to continue building in that way, or can you clear and make, it's just like clearing the clutter. Kind of, you might feel cluttered. And quite frankly, it is, the moon is waning when we enter the month. We're in that very last few days of the lunar cycle. So there's a draining kind of effect happening. And sometimes if you don't have things in place where you're actively working on kind of decluttering or clearing out or slowing down around this time of the lunar cycle, you can feel a little claustrophobic. Like, oh, I have so much junk, I don't know what to do, or there's so many things on my to-do list, or I think I should do all these things. Someone told me I should. And it's like, well, maybe you can do a lot less and actually get more done, right? That's efficiency of Saturn. Not taking on too much, but being very efficient. So you want to see where maybe you've got some gaps in your efficiency as well and how you could streamline things. That could be very useful. And, this is on Wednesday, the month begins. And then really through the rest of the week, there's just a little bit of kind of restless energy, I'd say, with some maybe power struggles, just with some of the planets. I've decided I don't need to tell you guys all the aspects because you don't really understand it. I'm just going to talk about the energy. I feel that's more useful sometimes, unless it's something that I really feel I need to name. But there's also this opportunity for creative thinking and problem solving amidst all this. So while the lunar cycle's ending, while we might be feeling like we're draining or a little overwhelmed, it's the time to come up with a creative solution, maximize what is working, let go of what's not working in preparation for the new moon in Taurus on Saturday. Okay? Sound good?
New moon in Taurus on what's the date?
Saturday, the 4th of May.
4th.
May 4th, 5-4. So any questions on any of that before I talk about the new moon?
No.
Make sense?
Yep.
Okay. We have our new moon in Taurus, which is a beautiful, Taurus is an earth sign. So this is a great new moon for pragmatic, practical kind of things. Taurus is ruled by Venus. And so we like to look and see what Venus is doing to kind of give us an idea for the flavor of the full moon. And Venus is in a little bit of a tight spot. So I feel like this new moon is a really deepening into your authentic values, and really thinking about simple pleasures in life, like the stripping away. It continues with the stripping away of excess and really honing in on simple pleasures and your authentic values, and really noticing where you might be feeling some conflicts or kind of at a crossroads, maybe with some choices in your life, and moving towards things which are easier right now and less complexity. I feel like there's a lot of complexity going on and a lot of elaborate things, and we make things very confusing sometimes and complicated. And Taurus really invites us to simplify and slow down. It's like Ferdinanding the bull when he sits out in the flowers. Like, I want more Ferdinanding. And so however you can make some space in your life for a little slowdown this weekend, connecting with the earth, simple rituals, pleasure. Venus is a pleasure principle. Taurus is a very five senses, pleasure-oriented kind of situation, like things like that. And then think about the earth realm in your life, material items, your health, your finances, and any kind of intentions that you want to set around that, or any kind of things that you need to adjust, to make some adjustments, around those kind of matters. Since it is an earth moon, it's a great time to think about that kind of stuff.
That sounds fun.
Katie, you are so cute with those earrings. Yeah, I think
it's money, health, buildings, properties, values.
Yeah, and there's a million things going on in the chart, but I feel like let's just keep it simple. I think simple is good. And the moon is making, the sun and the moon are making really beneficial aspects to those nodes that I was talking about. So just feel like we're able to get away from the things that cause us trouble and move more and more toward the things that bring us into alignment. That's how it feels when I look at this chart.
Thank goodness. We've all got that like closet pattern that we're just like, why does that keep coming up? I thought I was done with that, right? And then you kind of work on it for a while and then you feel like totally liberated from it. And then it sneaks back into your, and you're like, oh, there's that thing again. Huh. Right?
Exactly.
It's like this old patterning.
Yes, totally.
Even if it's just a thought pattern.
Well, those are kind of the most insidious.
Exactly.
They're so subtle, right? Yeah. Right. Yeah. And so, yeah, beautiful. And what do you think about what I was saying? All of a sudden, I feel like you probably should speak about this. Beautiful.
Yeah. Oh my God, I love that color. So we are working with the Meadow Cabbage Flower Elixir in the Flower Evolution program in May. It's like one of the weirdest plants I've ever seen. I don't know if you've ever been around Whistler, like north of Vancouver area in springtime. Have you, Kristina?
No, I'm going to Vancouver, but I haven't been to Whistler. I'm going, but it's springtime. I should go. I won't be there in the spring. But anyway, no, never been there.
Are you going to be there in May?
I'm going to be in Vancouver in early June.
Oh, early June.
Yeah.
God, you might see him actually. I mean, because spring starts a lot later there.
Right.
It's like the weirdest plant I've ever seen. So you'd be like walking through the forest, right? Like trees. And then in springtime, you look around and they almost look like these ginormous, like bok choy plants. Like they don't really look like bok choy, but they're definitely a cabbage and they're super green and leafy. And it's just bizarre because you feel like they look like some tropical plant that suddenly sprung up in the wrong place in the middle of a forest, and they're just everywhere. And it's like the plant that the bears eat when they first wake up after hibernation and they haven't eaten all winter, and so this is like, you know, one of the most nourishing things. And so the flower elixir for us humans is again, it's all about nourishment. It's like life after the storm and nourishing your vision and gaining traction and feeling like suddenly out of the blue, there's all this support around you. And like, where's all this support coming from? And things are just kind of slipping into place. There's like a pollination aspect around it. Like, you know, you might be connecting with more people or more, it's like somehow easier to get things done and your vision is more nourished.
I love it. I feel like with Taurus too, there's that traction and that support because fixed earth, it's like the earth is constantly supporting us and we forget about that sometimes, you know, and how easy it is to really drop into that support and then be nourished by that reliable source of support. I feel like that's such a beautiful match with the new moon energy in Taurus. And even that pollination, because Taurus is so much about that garden, all those seeds that got planted, and it's so stable for the plants to start to pollinate and grow and do their thing. So that is so perfect. It's pretty cool looking too, I have to say. And looking at the picture, it looks really interesting.
It's super cool. And if you just like bump it gently, like you're walking through the forest and you just bump it gently.
Like you sneeze on it?
If you sneeze on it, this massive cloud of pollen comes out. It's unbelievable, like anything I've ever seen before.
It's like a really sensitive car alarm. No, we used to live across the street from people who had like the most sensitive car alarm, and I'd swear that a raccoon would walk by and the whisker would brush it and the alarm would go off. It's kind of like that though. It's very, you barely have to touch it.
Yeah.
I don't know why that came to me, but that's just what came.
Amazingness.
And then for the muggles who aren't in the Flower Evolution program. No, you're not muggles. I'm just kidding. So we have this beautiful meadow cabbage for the Flower Evolution. And then for the rest of the folks, what do we have to support us?
If you are not a part of the Flower Evolution program, then I would opt for Infinite Love.
With the Hong Kong orchid that you were talking about.
Yeah.
Top of the show.
feeling seen and heard and being okay with it and falling in love with yourself, not needing love from the outside, just feeling all this like warm, nourishing support from the inside, dissolving old wounds of the heart.
It says magnetism too.
And magnetism and charisma. Heck yeah.
Which is
it's like a love potion.
The love potion, which is awesome, but also just with the node magnet, if you like to work with that image, there's many ways a magnet can go.
Oh, for sure. It doesn't just have to be love or like romantic themed. Like you can.
No, I mean like you could use the magnet to take like to like clear things out of it.
Sure.
Yeah, I love it. Okay, perfect. Yeah. Perfect again, Katie.
Get it, girl. Get it, girl.
Home run. Okay. What else is going on? Okay, so that's the new moon, and the ritual is to go and
love the simple pleasures of life.
Yeah, just get out and get in nature that weekend.
And in nature, have a non-dairy ice cream, have a piece of chocolate.
In nature.
In nature. Eat chocolate in nature.
Yes, because Sunday there's a little tension in the sky between Mars and Jupiter. So what we've got going on is potentially a little bit of inner conflict or difference of opinion, different ideas, different directions.
Oh, no, not that.
Oh, no, not that. And I just want to say, like, does there need to be a right, wrong? Can there be a both and? Like,
oh, for sure.
How about finding a new point of view? A new perspective. That's the invitation. If you're feeling any of the tensions on Sunday, any kind of conflicts, because the dark, the new moon times are lovely. We like to think about them, but it is a dark moon, and it does feel sometimes, some people have a really hard time with the new moon. It can be a very low energy time, and that can be kind of icky, and stuff can come up in the darkness. So
moldy.
Okay, then on the next week, on the Monday, this is when Mercury is making one of the first sign changes of the month, moving from Aries, fire, to Taurus, amplifying the Taurus energy. So this is through May 21st, and what this is emphasizing is...
Oh, can I guess? Wait, are we talking about Mercury?
Mercury.
We should just do all the future Moonshine sessions where I try to guess what that means.
Yeah, guess what it means. Can I do charades? No.
I don't know if I need charades. I would say our communication will be less fiery and blunt, and will become more like romantic and flowery and grounded and practical.
That's beautiful. I love how you said romantic and flowery. I have done pragmatic, so practical. Yes, take your time when making decisions. You might feel the pressure because simultaneously, Mercury is moving very quickly.
Oh, wow.
So when Mercury is moving fast, those capacities are moving fast. Thinking, communication. Mercury and Taurus, slow down. Think before you speak. But I love it. Flowery, romantic, grounded, practical. That's a shift, and that's again until May 21st.
And that happens on May 5th?
Monday, May 6th.
Okay.
Monday, May 6th through May 21st. And what else is going on this week? Let me just look ahead at this situation. Yeah, Tuesday, there may be a little feeling of restriction or loneliness, or some just kind of pressure around love and money and commitments. So again, it's a beautiful day to anchor into inner resources and self-love, and spray your infinite love spray all over yourself, and you'll get through it. It's a Saturn-Venus square. Not the most comfortable situation, but again, it's inviting you to go inside, find your inner resources, self-love, your values, your own valuing yourself instead of looking outside and wanting this approval. This is so like Saturn, approval and, getting a grade or something. So we have that on Tuesday. And
it's not like work hard. No, fall in love, work hard.
It might feel like that. It totally might feel like that, right? Which can make you feel isolated, restricted, and lonely if you're working hard and have no fun. We don't want that. So it also could be a really good day to kind of review your budget if you've been overspending, and kind of like make some practical decisions around money. It could be something, again, Saturn near the South Node. Trim the excess. If you keep making romantic gestures to somebody who is not returning the energy to you, trim the excess.
Cut them off, baby.
Cut them off. Okay. And then Wednesday, the 8th, the moon we're seeing the moon in the sky. So the energy is starting to rise, and Mercury makes this conjunction with Uranus, because we know Uranus is in Taurus now, amping everything up for the next 7 years. So there's this kind of like flashes of insight. What?
There's a big earthquake in the Philippines right now.
Put this in it?
Like when I was having lunch, just like an hour ago. I mean, 6 something, not like huge. It's okay.
Oh, okay.
But just reminded me of that situation.
Yeah, the weather patterns and the lightning
Uranus
rod.
and Taurus and
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry to interrupt.
No, it's okay. It is like this kind of shakeup, and this is the thinking and the speaking and this kind of, potentially these flashes. There's also the possibility with Uranus. Uranus is very electrical. And so there can be very rash speech or you say something very quickly, and it's Wednesday, so it's Mercury's day. So there's definitely, you want to think before you speak. Again, this Mercury and Taurus. So there's a lot of energy on that Wednesday building, and notice what you're aha-ing, and also notice if you're feeling like you're trying to like talk too much or feeling overstimulated, because settle down, breathe,
eat more fat,
ground. Yeah, eat more fat, eat more protein, drink some water. And then we do have a really Thursday, there's the first week is kind of, there's a lot of little aspects moving along, and it feels to me on Thursday there's some faith and optimism and kind of hope amidst power struggles, because there's some Venus-Pluto square action that makes power struggles and kind of tense situations. But Venus is also trining Jupiter, and Venus are those two benefics. They bring blessings. So again, I almost feel like this Thursday, there's this relationship work that you've been working on the past 2 lunar cycles with all that Libra energy. And this is just kind of maybe an old pattern kicked up, and you are, how can you, again, identify the skills and the good parts of things and highlight that rather than get stuck in the power struggles or the bad habits that might be showing up on
look at how far you've come kind of thing.
Look at how far you've come kind of thing. And then on Saturday, on Saturn's day, there's a Sun and Saturn trine. This is an Earth trine, very grounded, practical, stable. Good day to get things done, to make lists, just to get really make a budget or make a list or make you got a project, vision out that project. And there's a lot of stability. And really with Saturn retrograde, it's like you've got some hindsight to you, to what maybe how hasn't been working or what has been working, and how you can again maximize what does work and let go of what doesn't. So that's a real nice grounded, stable day and it's on Saturn's day, so it amplifies that. Then we're moving into the next week, and mid-week, we've got some more sign changes. Venus and Mars are both changing signs on the same day. So Venus is love and money. Mars is action and will, let's just say. And Venus is moving into one of her favorite places ever. This is Taurus, right? This is where it's one of her signs. Katie's making faces at me. Harmony and growth and beauty and pleasure and all the mud baths and all the flowers and all the chocolate.
Mud baths.
Yeah, mud baths, chocolate, and flowers all together. With the music playing that you love, and the smells that smell so good. And a massage. Yeah. So that's, let's have lots of that. Venus will be in Taurus through.
Starting on which day, babe?
It's on May 15th through June 8th. So that's a whole good 3 long weeks of pleasure, which, you want to really ground into that, because Mars is moving into Cancer. Mars is not super happy in Cancer.
Would you say soggy?
I'd say Mars is soggy. It's definitely waterlogged. Mars is action and drive, right? And will. Cancer is sensitive and moody and emotional. And so Mars in Cancer can get a little emotionally volatile. The other thing I'll say about Mars, I don't know if I've ever talked, have I ever said these words to you before, Katie? Planets out of bounds.
Ooh.
Planets out of bounds.
It sounds like a referee something.
I've never talked about that.
No. Tell me about it.
So the planets travel the same path as the sun. Basically, it's called the ecliptic. Okay. So they stick within a certain zone around the sun. That's from our point of view here on Earth. But sometimes planets go a little rogue. It's called out of bounds, and they go beyond the ecliptic. And when the planets are out of bounds, they can sometimes act a little
We don't know
volatile.
where they're going.
They just on their own. They're like, I'm striking off and I'm going to do what I want. And I'm kind of a little volatile and a little out of control and doing my own thing. It's a little rogue. So Mars is out of bounds at the same time that Mars is in an uncomfortable place. That's where this emotional volatility might show up. And so there can be a lot of sensitivity and defensiveness and moodiness with Mars and Cancer. There can also be, I feel like the great thing that you can do with Mars and Cancer is to create good emotional boundaries for yourself. Like, because Mars is a sword, right? Mars can cut things off. Mars has willpower to, if you know that you're, done with a certain situation, you can create a nice boundary for yourself. But overall, Mars and Cancer is really kind of pinging the eclipse season because it's going into Cancer. And that's where one of the nodes is, and that's where the eclipses are happening. So that's a little sticky thing happening. Venus,
touchy.
It's a little touchy. So Venus is like pleasurable and lovely, and Mars is a little touchy, and Mars will be in Cancer until July 1st.
Ooh, okay. Quick question for you.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds touchy. Is there any possibility you could channel that Mars energy into, say, like redecorating your bedroom or your house, since Cancer is like a homebody, or not? Does it not really work that way?
Well, I mean, I think you can do whatever you want, and certainly that's a great thing to consider, right?
Mars is rogue. You can do whatever you want.
Mars is like, I'm going to build a house. No, I mean, certainly that's a beautiful idea. I love that, and that's like, this is like, we kind of know how, that's a beautiful thing that you can say is like, okay, Mars, Cancer's about the home. How can I make my home more comfortable? Or maybe like, how am I feeling crabby in my home because I don't like, and what can I do to change that? So yeah, creating a more pleasant home environment. Well, in general, you have a place to recharge and rest, right? Because I feel like Mars and Cancer is a little bit of a resting thing, and Mars doesn't really like to rest, especially after being in Gemini. I mean, Mars was like buzzing in Gemini, is buzzing. It's just like getting so much done, and then all of a sudden you drop into the pool. One astrologer one time was talking about Mars and Cancer. It was last year, I think, during eclipse season. I don't remember, but he was it was the turd floating in the pool. Like there's a pool party, and then like there's it's just kind of like, oh, Mars, really? It's just kind of unpleasant. Like it's just not super.
Ugh.
Yeah, just ugh. Like, oh, really, Mars? So, Anyway, I don't know if that makes us a PG plus podcast now.
Oh, that reminds me of when I was a kid. I used to take baths with my little brother. I remember one time my dad was so pissed. It's like, God damn it, now I have to clean you kids again. And like, you're a kid, you don't realize that your brother
I know
dropped a load in the bathtub.
So Mars and Cancer is like your brother dropping a load in the bathtub. Okay, now we know.
While you're in it.
While you're in it. And you're like, ew. So anyway.
Okay.
Oops. The dog came in here on that note. Hello. It's like, I need to drop a turn. Like,
you call?
Hi. Oh my God. What is in the stars today when we are recording? Okay. All right. Next. Yeah. Again, though, this is like an eclipse season preview. And Mars doesn't change signs again until eclipse season. So look at Cancer in your chart. And remember, the North Node is there. So the North Node in Cancer is always inviting you to stretch a little bit into more emotional connection and less emotional defensiveness, emotional self-reliance also. Not relying on other people to fulfill your needs. I mean, I know we have needs and we have, we cohabitate with people and we give and take, but how can you take care of your emotional needs and not project it onto others and get all crabby, right?
I think I've been to Astro Cafe. You go where to get your chart?
I have my own software.
But
I love astro.com.
Astro.com.
That's where I tell them to go.
If you just want a quick down and dirty chart, if you want to get more into Cancer in your own chart, call Kristina. Otherwise, you can just sort of try to figure it out on your own by looking at where Cancer is, right? To see where that...
Well, and that's an important place because, again, it's the eclipse axis. And so wherever that is in your chart with the North Node, it's like, what's my growth here?
So that's basically where all the earthquakes this summer in your life are going to be.
Along that and Capricorn. Cancer. Yeah. So Mars is entering into a firing zone. We'll have to make all these opposite. It'll be next month when we'll talk about this next month. June and July.
I know, but give me a little hint.
Mars will have all the opposite.
Wait. Capricorn is north or south?
South node.
Oh, okay.
But Mars will be opposite Saturn and Pluto. That's like all the malefics, like opposing each other, like
sword fights.
Yeah, tug of wars, sword fights, jousts, things like that. Watery jousts. Okay.
Martial arts in the ocean.
That's right. Martial arts in the ocean. We're going to do that on a retreat someday, aren't we? Martial arts in the ocean. Okay. So Wednesday, lots of change, right? But I want to say Venus is in Taurus. Venus is in Taurus, people. This is lovely. Venus in Taurus.
And chocolate.
Mud baths and chocolate. And then for the rest of the week, Thursday is another great day for productivity. Mercury trines Saturn. So there's a lot of focus and productivity and pragmatic kind of energy on Thursday. And, then we're getting into Friday, and this is the weekend of the full moon. So we have the full moon on Saturday, the 18th. And then Friday, we're starting to feel that energy rise. And things start to get a little emotional around Friday into the weekend, because we got a full moon in Scorpio, and we have Venus on the same day of the full moon making a conjunction with Uranus. Again, because any planet coming into Taurus now is going to get this Uranus like, whoa! And so that can create some volatility. We've got the full moon in Scorpio, which also highlights emotional intensity. And I really just looked at this chart and I wrote down Sex, Lies, and Videotape. Did you ever see that movie back in the day?
No.
I don't know. That was my name for this full moon, Sex, Lies, and Videotape. Because whenever we have Scorpio, we have emotional depths and we have secrets and we have things that are hiding. And in this chart, not only do we have we have Scorpio moon, but opposing the Scorpio moon is that Taurus sun. And the sun is quite close to Mercury. Mercury is kind of hidden in this chart. So it's indicating some of this hidden communications or lies or falsities. You really want to, there's going to be a desire with Scorpio full moon to kind of get to the bottom of something. And with Scorpio, it can often get quite intense. And I invite us to look for intimacy rather than intensity. You know what I mean can you feel how the shift in that? You can be intimate, but does it have to be, you might not, if you find yourself like a dog with a bone in your mouth, shaking your head nonstop because you just can't stop digging into something, take a mud bath, have some chocolate, right? Because Mars is one of the rulers of Scorpio, Mars and Pluto. So you want to self-soothe, you want to take care of your body, you want to do the things that help ground you, because there's a lot of potential volatility for folks with that Scorpio full moon and that Venus Uranus conjunction on the same day. Woo! That's exciting. Sex, Lies, and Videotape. Okay, so what do you think about a full moon ritual?
Oof.
It's a water moon. Water and earth, feminine energy.
I mean, the thing that comes to mind is like, look at the things you're hiding. What are you hiding?
Instead of trying to see what other people are hiding. Right? Because isn't that what we do? What are you hiding from me? What's going on over there? Why won't you tell me the truth? Where are you doing that to yourself? That's good, Katie. That's good. Time to get honest.
Even if it's just with yourself, right? You bring it out into the light.
I think that's actually the most important place to get honest, is with yourself. 100%. I love it. Perfect. I'll take it.
And have a piece of chocolate in nature again.
Right. Maybe a mud bath in nature.
Okay.
Oh, that's really fun, going into mud in nature.
Where do you do that? Calistoga?
Well, I did it at Black's Beach many years ago, a beach in like Marin.
Like sex lies and videotape.
It was a nude beach, but like there was a bunch of mud coming in. There was a mud pit, like a mud area. And we just like, my friend and I just covered ourselves in mud. And then we went into the Pacific Ocean and like washed it off. It was amazing. Yeah, it was pretty
Does
pure.
It still exist?
I don't live up there anymore, but I don't know. I don't know. I mean, the beach is still there. I imagine the mud is there. I didn't know there'd be mud there, but it was just.
Worst case scenario, rub some clay all over your body in the bathtub at home.
There you go. Simulations work just fine. Put on some ocean wave soundtrack and some salt in your diffuser to make the air salty, and you're good. All right. So that's the full moon, and then we got to, ride that over the weekend. That's going to preoccupy the weekend. And then Tuesday, the 21st, we have a lot of shifting because the sun changes signs as well as Mercury. And they're moving into Gemini. It's Gemini season, people. So we got a lot of kind of like socializing and fun and communication and learning new things and cross-pollination and networking and all the Gemini things. So first the sun moves into Gemini, new perspectives, variety, and then Mercury moves in right after that. And so that means on Tuesday, May 21st, we have a Mercury
retrograde. Oh, Kazemi. Sorry.
Retrograde. Oh my God.
Sorry, I hear Mercury. I just think retrograde.
Silliest episode ever. I'm loving it. I'm having so much fun to you.
Is it a Kazemi?
Yes, it's a Kazemi.
Oh, fabulous. Okay, false alarm. Sorry. False alarm. No retrograde here. Kazemi.
Kazemi, a magic moment where the sun and Mercury have that little, like where they're exactly conjunct, and it's the magician. So I just feel like this is a beautiful day for like a brainstorm, some kind of creative download. I always think that with Mercury, but in Gemini, it just feels very vivacious. Very vivacious.
On Tuesday, the
21st.
21st.
So we shift into Gemini season, and Mercury, as I said, is moving twice this month. So Mercury moves again, and then they hook up right quick, and we have the Kazemi. So it's the magician. Mercury is the magician. And along with being a messenger, Mercury is a magician. So there's a little magic, a little sparkle, almost like that meteor I saw last night. It was so sparkly. Okay.
You saw a meteor last night?
I did. There's a meteor shower happening right now, the Lyrids. I haven't been watching it because it's been a full moon, so I haven't been able to see, but last night I was laying out looking at the cosmos, as I do from time to time, and a meteor just went low and slow over my path. It was phenomenal.
Wow.
So happy. But
I love it when that happens.
I know, right? It's so magical. So I don't know. This Kazemi is like a meteor. It's like and you can experience that in your own way, but like fresh insights, new perspectives, levity. Geminis, we like to play. We like to have fun. We're tricksters. Look at the bells ringing like hardcore. Play, trick. No, it doesn't have to be like we have like terrible Geminis who give us really bad names, do bad tricks, but we're talking about like
a whoopee cushion.
That's a great trick. I wouldn't think of that. I just think playful. When you turn that frown upside down, like if you're feeling, it's just like, how can you get a new perspective and bring some levity into any kind of heaviness as you're processing that full moon in Scorpio all week long? No, I'm kidding. Because the week has a lot of Chiron stuff going on. So I'm just going to say you might get some pain points pushed along the way. And then things go kind of kooky. So that's the last week. I just say that Mercury, Sun, we're Gemini season. So just feel into that for the fourth week of May. God, there's 5 weeks in May. May is a long month. The fifth week in May, the very tail end of the month, can get a little confusing. And that's just the truth. I'm just going to tell you right now. Because there is a couple of factors. Remember I talked about planets going out of bounds?
Mm-hmm.
Mercury is going out of bounds. So Mercury is being a trickster already. Mercury is going out of the normal path. That's double down trickster energy. Okay. And what's happening in the chart over a couple of days, the 29th, 30th, and 31st, so really ending the month, is something called a T-square. It's a tense aspect, and it's a mutable T-square because it's happening with mutable signs. And what is happening is Mercury is having some difficulties with both Jupiter in Sagittarius and Neptune in Pisces. And so there is this kind of confusing communication going on at the tail end of May, this kind of maybe ignoring or denying the negative, like the things that aren't working, and kind of over fantasizing about the good things. Like you need to get a reality check, kind of nervous energy, fake news kind of stuff might be ratcheting up. And we are going into June, and June is a little spicier, I'll say, than May. So I feel like we're starting to get that. And with Mercury and Mars both out of bounds, it just feels like things are starting to get a little ramped up at the end, even as the lunar cycle is waning and we're releasing. So if things get funky around Memorial Day, you're not alone. Take your elixir and nourish your vision, and look for a new point of view, because at this time the sun is in Gemini, not Taurus anymore, and we have a shift of energy. But you can still spray your infinite love all month long. That's all. I'm done. Well, healthy boundaries. That's the last thing I'll say.
Healthy boundaries in general, or in a specific area?
In area of, why did I just say that? I saw something written in my notes. I would say with what actions you're taking, and really, probably with spending, eating, like physical things. I think it'll be easier. I think having some ground beneath your feet and some healthy boundaries and a strong container will help you sail through any potential confusion. So I think we go back to that, drop into the support of the earth beneath your feet. Venus is still in Taurus. Clear away any clutter, any excess, get simple, and don't get like pulled into all this like kooky community. People are like sending weird emails and texts and acting out. Don't get pulled into it. Like go back and create a good boundary for yourself. You don't have to get pulled into the drama. That's what I would say. How's that?
Sounds great. So overall, the themes, if we sort of recap, we start out with the simple pleasures, like you just said. We clear the clutter.
We get some new perspectives.
We get stabilized. We get new perspectives. Then sex, lies, and videotape hits us. Then we get an insight with the Kazemi.
Then we get an insight, yeah.
We get more playful with the Gemini aspects as we're getting pinged by our Chiron pain. We just keep playing. And then it gets tense and confusing. That sounds so depressing. Like overall.
Venus is in Taurus. This is like a really good thing for May. Venus,
it is
she doesn't go in until the middle of the month, granted. But that's okay, because Venus is in Taurus. That's a beautiful, beautiful thing. Mercury slows down, like before, Mars certainly does get a little touchy over there, right? Mid-May, but then you've got Venus in Taurus. So when things start to go south, you go to your mud bath chocolate routine. And That helps anchor
Simple
you
pleasures.
in the present moment.
Flowers, music,
nourishment, and getting
dancing,
stabilized.
singing.
Yes, getting stabilized, because it's gonna, in summer's eclipse season, it gets a little bumpy. So let's, and I feel like there's enough bumpiness in the month to kind of practice, but it's not like cray cray yet, because it's gonna get cray cray.
In June, July, and August.
June and July for sure. They're kind of the craziest months, I feel like. Yeah. That's okay. We can handle it.
Oh, for sure.
Got it. Anything else that you have to say? Final thoughts on May, Katie Hess.
Would you sing us a song?
No.
I'll keep asking you.
I've got to save my voice for the performance.
All right. Well, you do that then.
I'll do that, darling.
Have some lemon and honey.
Yes, have some honey. I got to walk my dog. She came in and gave me a dirty look. She's like, "You've been working all day. What is wrong with you?" Let's go for a walk. She's like always ready to be like in Taurus, you know, let's go enjoy the sun. Let's go smell some grass. Let's go like connect with, embark at things and be really present. I feel like our dogs, our pets, nature, they have all the medicine for us. They keep reminding us to just slow down and be present. And that, I think, May gives us an opportunity to do that if we lean into what's working, lean into the good things, lean into what we have going for us. What?
Because that's your like famous last words. Like if you think May's bad, wait till you get to June and July.
I don't mean to be pessimistic. I'm just trying to be honest. The astrology is intense this year. It's we're in that crazy time of the 2020 stuff and all that. So it's happening.
We need it.
We need it. It's growth, exactly.
Okay.
Mud
baths, flowers, chocolate, music, good smells, and massage. And barefoot in the grass.
Exactly. So
happy May.
Happy May.
Lots of love. Thanks, Kristina.
Thanks, Katie. Bye, everyone.
Thank you so much for listening to The Flower Lounge. I'm Katie Hess, and we'll be releasing a new podcast every Wednesday. If you like what you heard, or you know someone who might be touched by our conversation, share it with them. And don't forget to subscribe. To find out what your favorite flowers mean about you, take the quiz at LOTUSWEI.com.